Okay, a lot of people seem to be believing that when a battery says non-removable, it means non-replaceable. That's not the case. Just because a battery says non-removable in your cell phone does not mean that it's non-replaceable. So make sure they're off. This one is. So the LG is easy enough to take the back off. To get the battery out, you just lift it out. Now you see that this battery is like a hard case. And of course, to put it back in, it's simple enough. Then the back is back on it. Couldn't be easier. This one, on the other hand, isn't so easy. So let's make sure we got the power off. And you can also pull the back off just as easy as the other one. Well, you got to take the case off first, sorry. If you have a case on it. Okay, so the back on here is also easy to pull off. Although I do have a thing for that. Maybe I should use it. Get your fingernail down in there. This is not the battery. Let's see, that's Torx screws in it. So to get to it, you'll need a set of Torx screws. Well, Torx screw remover things. Let's try number 3. Number 3 fits, but it's a little loose. Let's try number 4. Okay, so I think it's the number 4. Okay, this is the number 4. It fits much tighter, so I think that's the number 4. Let me show you the number 3. I think there's too much play in there, so I'm going to go with the number 4 Torx bit. Can you see that bit? It's so tiny. That's what she said. Here's a larger one. This is a 20, I think. This is much, much bigger. It's also a security bit. It's got a hole in the middle. And before I try to do this, I'm blocking the light or something. So you want to carefully take these screws out. And of course this ain't magnetic. Of course. It would help to have a magnetic tip. ain't very magnetic either, is it? Let's see if this works any better. I think there's actually 13 of these screws. You want to be careful taking them out. Oh, that I didn't need a magnet. Oh, now it wants to be magnetic. Look at that. I think they're all the same size. That's not one. I'm pushing down hard enough so the bit driver don't damage the screw head, but I'm not overly doing it. Because they do not, they're kind of tight. For tiny little screws, they're tight anyway. I think they're all the same size. So you don't have to arrange them. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, count them with me, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19? Is that right? Well, anyway, however many you have to take off to get the back off. Yeah, that's helpful, ain't it? Okay, you might want to take out the SIM card. I don't know if that's important or not, but I'm going to do it. Okay, so now we need to pry the case open very carefully. You need like a plastic spudger or maybe a metal one. Let's see what we can get under there. Kind of work your way around. Don't push this, especially if you're using a sharp one like that. I might should be using this side, but don't push it in too far. And don't pry up too hard. Back over to this side. Oh, I didn't leave a screw in there. Look at that. What did I say? I said, don't miss one. Oh my goodness. Could I be any more incompetent? Oh, that was not coming out either. It's like the bit's rounded off or something. It won't go in there good. Okay, so the number 5 actually seems to be taking it out. Anyway. Have any wires or anything behind here? Oh, yes they are. Okay, can you see that in there? How do you get that off? Okay, so first, let's take this off and see if we can get in there. Let's pry this up. Ah, here we go. You want to gently pry that up like that, see? Hope that was in the camera. It's just kind of it just pushes down into the slot. That way you don't break it. Set that over to the side. And good Lord, look at all that crap. Okay, so we're going to be replacing the battery. you'd want to try to peel this tape up. Will it peel up? Those freezers ain't worth crap. Is that sticky? No, not really. Okay, so you want to get up under it over here to get the sticky part with it. I'll see if I can do that without destroying it. Be real careful. I don't even know if you need to put this back on, but I'm going to try. It ain't all that sticky. And I'm just going to pull it over here out of the way and let it sit. Okay, what else? Okay, we got a piece of tape right here, or a piece of something. And I can't even get under. There we go. Real slow and careful. Okay, pull these wires out from under. Are they connected to the battery? I don't know. Let's wait on that and see. Okay, what is this? You don't want to poke that battery because, and you don't want to bend it either because it's lithium. If it gets mishandled, it can explode or catch fire. Yeah, let's not do it that way. I think you have to pull this off and pull it out. My battery's about to die in the camera. Let me get a new battery. Okay. Now, where were we? Oh, trying to pry the battery out. Okay, you can kind of pull on this a little and pull up at the same time. You want to put something that'll fit in there, and this won't. Well, kind of does. I'm going to kind of go around and loosen it up. Again, this is a lithium battery, so be real careful not to damage it while you're doing it. Because I'm not joking, a lithium battery can cause a fire. So take your time and work it loose. Oops. And you can pull up on this to help it. I don't want to damage that battery. So I want to put it back in because I don't have a replacement battery. So I'm going to have to be extra careful with it. Okay, you probably want to remove this as well. Does that just slide forward? Did I pull the red off of it? I did, didn't I? Okay, so don't pull on the wire. Can't see what I'm doing. Okay, let's take this off. Pull this out here. This out. And then, well, there's probably no way to do that right without, how does that come out of there? Oh, that just lifts, oh, no, it does pull back. Lifts up and pulls back. And let's continue to try to work it loose. That's then folded back over. You could probably just take that off completely. I'll stick it to the edge of this where I can put it back on. Pull up on that. That is definitely taped down in there. If you can pry up and get up under it, without bending it, goodness. See, this is why this battery is not really replaceable, is because it doesn't have a hard case around it. I wonder if heating it up would work. Would it melt the glue any or something, the tape behind it? Something flatter. Let's see if this will go up under it. Be careful of the camera. And of course, if the battery starts heating up, get rid of it because it's about to explode. Yeah, sorry about that. The memory card got full that time. Okay, so I don't want to break this battery. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stuff everything I can find back in here. Can you see that flexing on the camera? Does that show up good on the camera? Okay, see that bend in it right here? Since I'm wanting to reuse this battery, I mean, on some of the iPhones or all of the iPhones, I don't know if it's all of them, but you have to heat the back of it. But to heat the back of it, it's technically the LCD screen on this one, and I don't think that'd be a good idea trying to heat that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep putting stuff in here and let this just take its time for the glue to, I think it's double-sided tape. I can't see up in there. Well, that's not really helping much, is it? See, if you stick enough stuff under here, eventually just the pressure of everything pulling up on it will help free it. I hope. I'm also trying to use stuff that won't punch through the side of the battery and cause a fire. Just a little pressure. Now you can see that thing flexing a little bit, can't you? See, this is why these batteries aren't really replaceable. With all the stuff they're putting in the phones, there's not as much room for a battery. And let's face it, this battery is like a big part of the internals here. This video might have been easier just to buy another battery. And I wouldn't be nearly as concerned about busting it. Technically, you still have to worry about busting it because you don't want to catch it on fire anyway. I need wider stuff here. I'm being super, super gentle with this. What I do with flashlight? Okay, you may be able to see right in there where it's stuck. Can you see that glue right in there, or is that on the camera? Alright, here. The way I've scuffed it, I believe that's tape. Let's get the other side loose. Oh, there we go. I really put the hurt to that battery. Maybe it'll be alright, I don't know. Ooh, that's a big old piece of tape. Look at all that tape in there. Yeah, that's some kind of double-sided tape. I'm just going to peel that off. You know, I don't really think I had the right tools for this particular thing. And I'm beginning to wonder if it is actually DIY or not. But that's how you remove the battery. Most phones would work about the same. I'm going to see if I can smooth this out a little without blowing the battery up. In a way, that's a good thing. I can show you that this is why this is called not removable or non-removable. Unlike the battery in the other phone that has the hard case around it, this doesn't. See, what I was prying with was too thick to go under there. This is basically like a soft pack. Seriously, I'm serious. This battery is, it's not super soft, and this seems to be like a metal-y kind of thing that's harder to puncture, like a aluminum foil like almost. But if you punch through it, it's all over. You can start a fire and everything else. You've heard of phones exploding and blowing up and stuff? Well, that's why the batteries are... Lithium batteries put out a lot of power. So this don't have to be pulled out. It's not going to do anything, but you can use it to pull up a little. And I didn't buy a new battery, so essentially reassemble is about the same as assemble. Let me check something real quick. Okay, so let's pretend that this is the new battery. To put it in would be the opposite of taking it out. Hopefully it's not all bent up. Okay, your kit may come with new double-sided tape. It may not. I'm not going to put new double-sided tape in because the next time I want it to be easier to get this out of here. But I am going to press down lightly on it. Then you want to reconnect the wire that I pulled a little bit of the red off. Be real gentle with this wire. I wonder if I could put something over that. A little piece of something, I don't know. See, can you see what I'm doing on camera and I still see what I'm doing? Okay, that don't work. Let's get that out from under there. Can we get a good camera angle on that? Let me check and see if that's in focus first. Oh, I guess it says as focused as it's going to get. Okay, so hold it steady. And yes, in case you're wondering, I need help putting it in. Okay, so that's in the slot. That's tiny little stuff to work with tweezers in it. Maybe all you got to do is lay it over on it and push down. Let's try that. Oh, okay. I'm thinking that you should just be able to pry up on it. Okay, all you got to do is pry up on it to get it off of there. So to put it back on, you put it over it and then push down. Okay, so it's not really a sliding back situation as a popping up and popping back down. Okay, I don't like that on there, so I'm going to fit some vinyl electrical tape. I'm only going to put a tiny smudge over that. But you really can't see all this, can you? Wow, the scissors are dirty. I don't have any, but they make a product. I don't even know what it's called, actually. So I'm going to tell you about a product that I don't have and don't know what it's called. That should make it easy enough. But it's like a pen, a magic marker like thing. It's really made for going over circuit board stuff. But it probably would work good here. I would think. I don't know. Is that small enough? Let me make it a little bit smaller. I want to get it with the tweezers first. I can't do that on camera. I can't even see it without holding it anyway. So give me 1 second here. In case you're wondering, this really don't matter because it's just the wire on the battery. How's that? Too far up. Someday I hope to, well, technically I guess I hope to never have to replace that battery, but that should be fine. I don't think there's anything in there for it to hit anyway. I mean, seriously, this metal is exposed here. And they're not touching each other. I'm going to put that in between the two wires. But I don't think they're touching each other anyway. I think I'm just a glutton for punishment. And even damaged the black one. But wow, that insulation comes off so easy. Did it not? I just looked at it funny. There we go. That's more what I wanted. Okay, we can also replace the tape. Are we that far in this yet? To push that down. I don't even know if you need that tape. You could probably just leave it off, but my wires under there where they're supposed to be. Yes, we can put this back. Not as straight as it was, but we can put it back anyway. Let's see, that was the side I picked on, wasn't it? So that would go this way. Not that it matters. Okay. I don't guess that's actually going to stick back. I don't know what kind of tape that was, but it's like pulling off of the sticky part. I'm just going to leave it that way and not worry about it. Okay, so then you want to put the cover back on. It's still popping up again, ain't it? Well, crap. You want this to be showing through the hole. Put this back on. Make sure you get it seated properly. Nope, I guess we just put screws in. And you'll want to carefully put them back. I would recommend not screwing them in all the way. Now we got to push that down, but before we do that, let me make sure. Okay, there's nothing really here to get in the way. There's a little track here. You can see that little track. Let me make sure you can see the little track. There's a little track here that the plastic goes down in. So carefully maneuver it into place. Then I think I'll start up here with the screws. Push this down. Make sure it's in the right place first. Fortunately, they're all the same length. so you don't have to like keep up with which one goes into where. That can be a nightmare. This job is a lot easier if you're not trying to work around the camera and lighting and all that junk. But it still may not necessarily be a DIY project. I might not should have done this one. Okay, you also want to replace this little cover. It just snaps in place. It's got one corner chopped out, so make sure you line that up properly and push it down in there until it snaps. Then you can go around and tighten all these screws properly, but I'm not going to over tighten them. Especially considering the cheap tool that I'm using, as well as you're going into plastic and stuff. Okay, before I forget, also I would recommend that you pry against the side of the battery closest to the edge and not over where all the components and stuff are. I think it's less likely, you still could damage something, but I think it's less likely to damage anything the further away from the stuff you actually are. So I think that's got them all pretty much tight. Okay, so we want to put want to make sure we put it in the right spot. Okay, that's the SIM card spot. And it goes with that little notch cutout thing in that direction. Put it back in. Then you can do a test launch of it now to see if it works, or you can put the cover back on. So you snap the case back on. And then if all went well, you can try to power it on. This looks kind of aqua green here, but it looks really blue on my screen on the camera.
Hello, Moto.
Okay, now that's kind of odd. It still kept, even though we had the battery off for a while, it still kept the date and time. Why is this saying 9:18, which is the right time? It is July 7th. What does 12:05 p.m. mean? Oh. Do I have an alarm? I do. Why is that set to go off? Okay, so that's what that is. Okay, there we go. So it's got the right date and time. So that's how you replace the battery in your smartphone. Well, in this particular smartphone. I'm not sure that I would call that a DIY project. I guess you'd have to decide whether or not you want to try to do it yourself or not, but it certainly is a lot easier on the other phones to take the batteries out. Just be super careful. But a $12 battery is cheaper than a $300 phone. Oh, before I forget, if you decide to do this, I'm not responsible for you breaking your phone or anything that happens, obviously. What I would recommend, though, would have like a cheap steel pot or something, a cooking pot or something like that, that you can, if you damage the battery and it does catch on fire or something, that you can throw the battery into the pot and not burn your house down. Hopefully not destroy your whole phone, but if you was going to buy another phone anyway, 6 of one and 12 of another, I don't know, you're really not out that much more. So, I hope I was some help to you. And like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, or both. And I will see you in the next video. One thing I want to point out real quick as you may have noticed in the video, I used one of these, I ain't sure which one. Whichever one of these that I was using, I stopped using it. I didn't say anything, I should have. I think it was this one, but if you notice they have these sharp ends on it that goes up. That could really punch into the battery. So I would recommend not using these. I didn't have it at the time, but I would recommend something like this, something that's wider, that you would get a lot more under the battery. With this, I recommend something like this, something that's rounded off and not sharp, with nothing to stick up into the outside metallized tinfoil-like thing of the battery case. If you're going to use a tool like this, be sure to do this way. This toward the battery, this toward the box, the phone itself, and this toward the battery. Otherwise, you could wind up punching this up into the battery and puncturing it. And this side's even worse because that's even pointier and could go up into the battery real easy. So I'd be careful on that. as for the set of tools that I bought, you know, one thing I don't ever understand about Chinese stuff and their desire to make things just as crappy as possible. It seems like, anyway. This had the potential to be a nice little kit. You have this with it. Although when I got it, this little piece here was broke off and I had to reattach it. The way that works is you push it down and that spring locks up, but this wasn't attached to anything, so I had to push it down in there and lock it in place, and then it springs up like this. But these were supposed to be the better bits, the more expensive, better steel as they called it. Not like the cheap S2 steels. I hate to see what that stuff must just be plastic or something. And this came with all of this stuff. The tweezers aren't any good either. Because they don't actually grip anything, you can't really grip anything with it. So I used a set of tweezers that I had from before in the actual video. One other thing that I overlooked is this isn't sewn correctly. This works, these don't, and these don't. So some of this stuff comes in, this is fine. So some of this stuff just punches right through the bottom, which is annoying. But basically, I'm on my way now to take this to box it up and return it, because I ain't, it was only like $21 or something, and with the little thing that was wrong, I was just going to keep it anyway, but not now. It's just too much, too many things wrong with it. You also get these. This little thing. This. But, you know, it's not worth having. I'm going to wait and buy a nicer set or something, I don't know. And then when you go to try to fold it up, it doesn't really fit quite right. It's close enough, I guess. But you have a country that has the potential to manufacture the world's finest quality products, and they seem to gear everything around making it as cheap and crappy as possible to try to bilk the rubes out of whatever money they can get.